Hello friends, today we are going to start the unit number 1, and from the unit number 1 the first point, that is the collection and transportation. So of milk. So the first point from the unit number 1, that is the collection and transportation of milk, that we will learn in detail about the collection and transportation of milk. It means that how the milk is collected from the various points and how this milk is transported from one place to processing, from the production area to the processing area, how this milk is transported. So we will study it in detail about the collection and transportation of milk. Okay, so the first point, that is the, let's see about the collection of milk. While studying the collection of milk, we know that in almost all developed dairying countries, the production of milk is confined to the rural areas, while the demand is mostly in urban in nature. It means that the milk is produced in the village level or village area, whereas the demand for this milk is in the urban area. Okay, so hence it becomes necessary to collect this milk from the rural areas, and it also becomes very essential to transport this milk from the rural area to urban area. Okay, so first of all we have to understand this point, why this point is so necessary, that is the collection, why it is necessary to study the collection and transportation of milk. As we have seen that the milk is produced in the rural areas, okay, whereas the demand for this milk is in urban area. So we have to collect this milk from the rural area, and then we have to transport this milk to the urban area. So this is the concept behind the studying the collection and transportation of milk. Once again, remember, milk is produced in the rural area, so we have to collect the milk from this rural area. As milk is collected from the rural area, we have to transport this milk to the urban area, because the demand is more in urban area than the rural area. Therefore we have to collect this milk and transport this milk from rural area to urban area. Okay, so this is the concept behind studying or the learning the point, that is the collection and transportation of milk. Now the question is that how this milk is collected from the rural area and how this collected milk is transported to the urban area. So let's learn in detail about the collection and transportation of milk from rural area to urban area. Okay, so the first point, the how milk is collected. The common systems for the collection of milk is, number 1, by cooperative organizations, second by contractors, and third by individual producers. So keep it in mind, the milk is collected by three ways, okay, or by three systems. Number one system is by cooperative organizations, whatever the cooperative organizations organize in the village levels, or by any dairy, the milk is collected through these cooperative organizations. Then the contractors generally collect the milk and then they supply this milk to the processing unit. And number three is by individual producers. If the processing unit is nearby the milk shed area, in that case the individual generally supplies this milk to the processing unit. So this is it means the third system is, that is the by individual producers, okay. These cooperative organizations is generally formed by individuals or the milk, or by collecting milk societies. It means that the milk cooperative societies are generally established in the milk shed area, okay, and it is suitable for the producers as no profit making middlemen are involved in this system. It means that as the middleman is not involved in the systems, the whatever the profit, the maximum profit get to the producers, okay. So this is the benefit of the cooperative organizations. Second one is the contractors, okay. So in these systems generally very less profit get to the producers, okay. So this is not the profitable trade or the profitable systems. And number third is the by individual producers. In the systems, if any processing unit is very close to the milk shed area, in that case, as I told you earlier, the individuals producers supplies directly milk to the processing unit. So they get the maximum profit as the middleman is not involved. So they get the maximum profit by supplying milk directly to the processing unit. So these are the three different systems by which milk is collected in milk shed areas. Number one, by the cooperative organizations. The cooperative organizations are established in the milk sheds area. Number second, that is the contractors. Contractors generally collect the milk from the rural area, and this they purchase the milk from the milk producers in by giving very low price to the producers. And as the producers get the low price to their milk, so they get a very low profit by selling the milk, okay. So this is the second method, the system, that is the by contractors. And number third is the by individual producers. It means that if the processing unit is very near to the processing near to the milk producing area, so the individual get the maximum profit by selling this milk directly to the milk processing unit. So these are the three systems by which the milk is collected in rural areas, okay. Now let's see about the how this milk is transported to the urban areas from the rural areas, okay. Transportation. Transportation of milk milk may be transported head load. Second, by shoulder sling. Or it may be transported by bullock cart, or it may be transported by rickshaw or bicycle, or it may be transported by boat, or it may be transported by motor truck, or it may be transported by railway, or it may be transported by road or rail tankers. Okay, but all these modes of transportation, that is the head load, shoulder sling, bullock cart, rickshaw or bicycle, boat, motor truck, railway or road or rail tankers, all these have their own advantages and disadvantages. First of all, number one, that is the head load. Maximum we may carry weight up to 15 to 25 kg. It means that a single person may carry 15 to 25 kilogram of load from the producing area to the processing area. Okay, and he may transport these milks up to 3 to 8 kilometers. Okay, so by head load we can carry the load up to 25 to 15 to 25 kg. Okay, generally employed for the small loads and distances important in hilly areas. Hilly areas means where the other transportation facilities are not available. In that case, head load facility may be feasible, especially in the hilly areas where there is no transportation facilities available. For example, where there is no rickshaw, where there is no boat means hilly area. As this is the hilly areas, means there is no motorcycles, no railway, no rickshaw, no road. In that case, the head load is very feasible. Okay, second one is the shoulder sling. By using this method, we may carry up to 40 kg. Okay, we may carry up to 40 kg and up to 3 to 6 kilometers of distance. And means it is for the heavier loads, but for shorter distances than the head load. If the distance is very shorter as compared to head load, in that case we may carry up to 40 kg, 40 kilograms weight, and it is up to 3 to 6 kilometers. Okay, it means that if the processing unit is just far 3 kilometers away or 4 kilometers away, in that case we may use the shoulder sling method to carry up to 40 kilograms of weight. Okay, then the bullock cart. By using this method, we may carry up to 300 to 400 kilogram, and we may carry it up to 10 to 12 kilometers. Okay, and this method may be used in that case where the rickshaws or the motor trucks are not available. In that case, we may use this bullock cart system of transportation. Okay, then the bicycles. By using the bicycle, we may carry up to 40 kilogram of weight, and we may carry it up to 15 or more kilometers. Okay, 15 or more kilometers. Then the boat, we may carry up to 40 to 200 kilogram of weight, and it may be carried up to or more than 15 kilometers. Okay, only means of transport where the rivers have to be crossed, or the boat systems may be used up to 8 kilometers, not 15, 2 to 8 kilometers, and this method, that is the boat transportations, may be used in the case where we have to cross the river. In that case, this boat system may be used, and in this system we may use 40 to 200 kilograms of weight. We may carry up to the 40 to 200 kilogram weight, and when we have to cross the river, and that rivers may have the width, that is the 2 to 8 kilometers. Okay, so in that case the boat systems may be used. Then the motor truck. The motor truck may be used for the heavy loads, that is the up to 3 tons. Okay, up to 3 tons weight may be transported by using the motor truck, and it may be used for the transportation of 15 or more kilometers. Okay, then the railway wagon. It may be, the railway wagons carried up to 11 tons or more. 11 tons or more. Railway wagons may carry the weight up to 11 tons or the more, and it carries this weight 80 kilometers or more. Okay, and this railway transportations has the more scope in the futures. Okay, so the tankers, various tankers are used for the transportation of milk, road or the rail tankers, and they have the capacity, that is the 5 tons or the more. Okay, and it has also the great scope in the future. So in this way we have completed the transportation of milk. So for transportation of milk, we studied the 3 different systems, that is the number 1 the head load, second one is the shoulder sling, third one is the bullock cart, fourth one is the rickshaw cycle, the boat, motor truck, railway, road and rail tankers. Okay, and each system has its own disadvantages. Okay, we have studied it in detail, the where to use the head load, where to use the shoulder sling. Head load is only used where the hilly area, where the road is not exist. So in that case, when the motorcycle is not available, when the rickshaws or the bicycles or the buses are not available, in that case the head load is used. Okay, then the bullock cart, then rickshaw cycles, boat, truck, railway, road and rail tankers. So in this way we have completed the first point from the unit number 1, that is the collection and transportation of milk. So thank you very much.